The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and welcome, everybody, to Scarefest Television, the original broadcast date, March 14th, 2025, in the run-up to Scarefest 2025. Scarefest 17? Yep. I keep losing count. It's been a bunch of them. Tonight, and pardon me, we'll have to do some edits on the replay, but I'm actually a little clumsy tonight because I'm using a different software. Because we weren't sure how the show was going to lay out, but don't worry about it. It'll all be here, and theoretically, it might even not lag like it does sometimes on Facebook. Apologies aside, tonight, Joe Lewis reviews The Substance. Hope that's a movie. Anyway, this is go ahead and get everybody on. Adrian did show up, everybody. So let's just add everybody to the stage here. There's Adam Johnson, the Executive Logistics Director of Scarefest Weekend. And there is Adrian. Of course, everybody knows Adrian. She's like the head honcho.
Like the first.
Adrian, did you notice I got a haircut?
It is beautiful.
I
didn't want to make Adam feel insecure, so I didn't comment on it.
No, I commented on it the second I got on. I was like, "Oh wow, you look good, Wes."
It's kind of depressing now, though. Used to be when they would cut my hair on top, they'd have to like dig their fingers in and blah, blah, chop and chop. Now it's like dainty little chip.
But they use one of those electric hedge trimmers when they cut mine.
Well, I would think they would use like some kind of like industrial chainsaw to cut through yours. You know,
it is. Yeah, it's
you need a Flowbee's what you need.
It's
I think so. We can find one.
You hook a thing. It's a thing hooks on your vacuum.
Yeah, it sucks your hair up and cuts it to a specific length.
As you do it. It's adjustable.
Not. Yeah, I don't think they make it. I don't think they make. Do they make it like?
I'm going to Google that and see
not for your lines, man. Her hair is thick.
So everybody, the rumors are true. We have 5 celebrities. Somebody did actually guess based on Brandon's. I knew the answer and could not get it off his clue until I really, after somebody said who it was, then it made sense to me. Just so you know, I am no good at those whatsoever.
He sent it to me last night and he was like, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, going through them and I was like, what is this? And he told me and I was like, "Oh, okay. That makes sense."
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I'll walk you through the entire procession when we get down to that. Because I was like, I got part of it.
Well, hold on. I'm going to let's talk about these hints.
Flowbee at Walmart.
There you go.
Walmart has I bet it's a 3-day ship though. I bet it's not in stock at our local store.
These hints are killing me, by the way, Adrian.
Oh, I'm going to post another one tomorrow.
I don't even know what it is. See, you all think that we're all like in the loop on this stuff. We don't know. There's 3 people that know. 3 of them, and none of them will tell me what it is.
Most of the time, it's 2.
Yeah.
I actually had he sent me 5, or actually he sent me 4 announcements. He said there was 5. He sent me 4 announcements in the first email.
Yeah.
Then come to find out, he had 2 others that he needed to get in, and so they juggled them around, had to send me a whole new email. And one of the pictures that he sent me, everybody who knows how to do the show with the little slides, he sent me a goddamn video. One goddamn video out of the whole bunch. I was
like, "Ooh, Wes is gonna be mad."
Man, if I'd been in a hurry, I would have been upset. But
yeah,
I'm cool.
Let's see. Katie says, "Are you going to edge us?" Yes. And Brandon is a little bit irritated with me because when I laid this out in my head, I wanted to go ahead and get started, but we're not announcing it for at least 2 more weeks. So I'm sorry, it's going to be 2 more weeks, but I wanted to get the announcements, them out there, but I'm totally making these up as I go. Like, I thought I had a game plan, but it turns out I didn't. So I'm just kind of making the announcements up, the guesses, or, the clues, whatever, as I go along. And no one has even come close yet. So if that's the only hint you're going to get out of me all night about the these aren't the guest clues. I'm talking about everybody knows.
Yeah, she's changed topics. This is the one we posted actually during Comic-Con, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I changed the topic, and I do apologize about that. I didn't mean to pull away from our guests, but they're annoying me.
Yeah, I'm posting every Wednesday and Saturday right now, so I'll post another one tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to give a little bit better hint. I tried last weekend, and Brandon was like, "No, don't do that. Do this one." So that's where I came up with last week's hint. So anyway,
so you're just gonna text it to me?
No.
I just want to say that the ladies in our chat room are getting very, very foul.
Good.
Sarah Robinson kicked it off last week, and now Katie Follows just out of control tonight already. Okay,
well, I don't know what chat room you're in. I'm in the one with Jake and Kat and Katie, and hey, Barb, how you doing?
Look at Katie's last comment.
Okay.
See, yeah. I'm telling you, it's like working for Pornhub. That Joe Lewis said after he sent me told me what I was supposed to be downloading tonight. He sent me. It sounds better when I put it this way. He sent me a meme about threesomes.
Oh,
I'm gonna leave it at that, and it's let you all do the math.
Okay. Let us fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Huh.
You really want to trust my mind to do that?
Filling in the blank, it's much worse than it actually was.
Right.
Okay. I wanted to add him on tonight because I didn't have a guest. But we actually did work together last weekend.
Had a great weekend too.
Do what?
Had a great weekend.
Yeah, it was. It was fun.
Had a great weekend.
It's the most fun I've had at Comic-Con for years because there were actually people there to help me, including Mr. Adam Johnson. It was the first time, I guess you could say, I've been brought in on the forefront of a logistical thing like that line building thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually one of the ones that, if Adam doesn't have time to clean it up, come and get me and say, "Here, fix this." And that's usually my inclusion in.
Or I come get him and say, "Wes, stand right here and point them that way."
Well,
and that is what I'm going to do.
Before you guys get started about your idea, and I'm going to go on record and say this. Adam and Wes both told me at the end of the weekend, they were like, "We've got the line figured out. We know what we're going to do. Brandon has agreed." And I was like, "Oh, great. Like, I'm ready to hear it." So they then proceed to tell me the exact thing I suggested to Brandon and our event director at the convention on Friday night, which both of them said no to, with one exception. When we get to the part about the interior line staging, where I said level 2, Wes and Adam suggested level 1.
Because it's so much better, so you know.
It is. And, in that piece, like, I could have been totally flexible on, but everything that they were like, "Oh, well, this and this and this." And I was like, "Okay, I get it, back to the drawing board." So, one, I'm very proud of Wes and Adam for Brandon just sent me a text. I'll check that in a second. Very proud of you all for, getting right. We're doing your job, buddy. He's not going to watch this, so, whatever. It's only fun to make fun of him if he's going to see it. But great job, guys, because it really just makes the most sense, I think, with the space that we have. And so, round of applause. Great minds.
Basically, you got to learn, if you ever need to actually convince the Griffiths, because I'm the only reason we had a VIP party one year, you've got to go, you have to have your arguments
Ready.
lined out.
Yeah.
And so we went through there, and everything he had, we had his answer for him. But anyway,
Right.
so everybody, we wanted to bring this to your attention because last year, line building on the entrance line, getting into the building was a little tough. It was a little long, took a little longer to get in the building than it
Hashtag
should.
understatement of the year.
Well, okay, Friday night is understatement. What are you saying,
Yeah.
Adam?
Sorry. I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. It wasn't tough. It was bullshit. All right. And we acknowledge that.
Yeah.
We tried to make chicken salad out of you know what, but it did not work. Okay. We come up with a passable solution for that weekend. And the very first thing, literally when we were packing the trailers to leave the building, me and Brandon looked at each other and said, the very first thing we're fixing is what we're going to present to you tonight.
Yeah.
That's the very first thing that we talked about when Scarefest 16 wrapped.
Well, and you know, I did a live on Friday night at the con. Absolutely dead tired. Some of you all saw that, but you know, we knew that there were issues with the line. It wasn't just the placements of the line. That wasn't just the only problem we had, which we won't get into all of that. We've covered it. You all know that watch the show, but we had a lot of technical issues. So beyond that, though, the system that they've concocted I think it's going to work better for everyone.
Here's my favorite part about it. This actually is based on an original idea from Brandon Griffith that he actually backed off of for no good reason. Everybody, we're trying to get people in the building.
Yeah.
Not on the floor ahead of time, but in the building so that you're ready to go on the floor, A, and B, if the weather is inclement, at least fewer people will be exposed to it.
Yeah.
In the long run. That was his whole thing.
There's going to be con opportunities while you're standing in line. That's the other thing that you all need to realize too. There's going to be stuff going on that you can participate in while you're standing in line.
Yeah.
That's huge.
But so me and Adam are explaining this to Brandon, and we say, and this gets those people in out of the weather like you wanted. He said, well, that was just a backup plan. I went, we went over an hour. We wasted an hour talking about your goddamn backup plan. No, this is the plan. So everybody, exactly. Just so you know, now this won't mean much to people that's never been to the convention center, but if you've been to Archon or any other convention at the Lexington or the Central Bank Center, outside will be staged very similar to the way we normally do it. We're hoping to pretty much eliminate any advanced entry line by opening the doors earlier. In other words, if you already have your ticket scanned, you've got your badge,
we have a place for you.
We have a place for you.
Inside,
nice and warm and snuggy inside. If if you haven't been scanned yet, you still got to go through the process. We are going to limit that this year on purpose to the edge of Rupp Arena and back. How we always talk about we scan blend in line. We found out you can't do it so far down. So we're going to be very, very meticulous about making sure nobody walks out of the Wi-Fi range.
Yeah.
Now, basically what you're going to do, we're going to we have a staging area for Weekend Plus and VIPs, Gold and Platinum, back behind Stars Row. The main difference is your all's admission to the con floor will actually be on Stars Row this year. You all get in early. It's not going to affect anybody else. Now, here's something we got to get across to everyone out in the unwashed masses. If you come up and you have a baby or you have a wheelchair or you have anything that qualifies as ADA, bring it to our attention, a staff member, which there will be staff members outside and inside, but outside's what we're talking about now. Bring it to their attention. We have a separate staging area for you inside the con, which, you know.
Yeah, so before, and I'm going to pause because I know people are going to have questions about things that we've just started going over. So the ticket counter will still be on level 3. That's the main entrance level, right? So for those of you who have been further into the convention center than past the ticket counter, There is a long hallway. At the end of that hallway, there are stairs, an escalator, and an elevator that take you to level 2 and level 1. Level 1 also has a street exit because the convention center is built into a hill. So we are going to open the ticket scans up, and we are going to be scanning people in, and we will stage a line inside. It will not be like a couple years ago where we had everybody just all over the place. We had the VIPs and the Weekend Plus shoved up against one wall. We had general admission entry out in the middle. It was elbow to elbow in the staging area. It was miserable. Fire marshal said, absolutely not, cannot do that. So we will not be doing that again. That's not what they're talking about. We're going to have at least 3 different staging levels or areas on the 3rd floor, but that is not where the main entry line will be. Continue.
Okay. So you will come in, you'll get you either buy your ticket, you'll get scanned. I'll leave that to the people in ticketing. But once you have your badge and everything, then basically you're going to continue down that big hallway. Now, somebody in the chat room just asked, explain the levels. The level where the convention floor is on, the convention floor, that is level 3. Once again, we need signs that say level 1, 2, and 3, like Comic-Con did. Brandon says, oh, nobody sees those. Yes, they do. Okay,
he changed his mind at the end of the weekend. He did change his mind at the end of the weekend.
Did he? Okay.
Yes.
Level 3 is the main convention floor. Level 2 is the floor that we traditionally have seminars, panels, etc. Film festival. That's other than some shuffling, that'll still be all going on there for the most part.
Yeah.
Then level 1 is street level down on Vine Street.
Yep.
So that is level 1. We now have all 3. Count them 3 levels. So we're going to shoot you down if you're not ADA, if you're not in a wheelchair, blah blah blah. If you're general admission, and that does include regular weekend passes, you will shoot down the escalator to the 1st floor where we have this nice big open hallway to stage you in. Now, that will get you out of the weather. Now, you may ask, why am I so far from the door? Because we are trying to get people in the building, and if we put you next to the front door, guess what?
Yeah.
It blocks it.
Yeah.
Okay, we ran into that two years ago.
And there's other reasons for that too, and I'll explain to them as we roll on. So
anyway, then basically once we get as many people down there in, we get a place to stage the line down there, which will be a not really zigzag. It's going to be out and back, we think.
Massive hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big hallway.
If you're standing outside of the building and you're looking at the entrance to our show, or if you were at Comic-Con and you're looking at the main entrance doors, the left is the convention center. Everything to the right, that giant building, is Rupp Arena. The hallway they are talking about, when you go downstairs, it runs the length of Rupp Arena. It's inside. There is one on the 2nd floor as well. So that's what I was talking about. When I had the suggestion, I was like, well, we've got this long hallway right inside on level 2. Just line up down the hallway. And there are a couple of reasons why there were some logistical questions with that. So the level 1 hallway was picked. And I agree with it. Much, much better. I like that a lot. So yeah, inside.
And then in a nutshell, roughly we calculated 10 minutes. Of course, VIPs and will go in first from their staging area. Weekend Plus to follow them. Then, at the magic hour when general admission is admitted, we're 10 minutes until we're going to start that line moving to the convention center floor.
Yeah.
This will be, now people can complain whatever. You can complain you stood in line 5 hours because you got there 4 hours
early. Yeah.
So, sorry. But the truth of the matter is this will get the most people in the building, have you ready to go in the doors as soon as we can open them. And I don't see any way this could go any faster than what we're planning. That's not to say there won't be glitches. God knows, glitches come up. But now what was you going to say? You had something you wanted to add to that, Adam?
Well, yeah. So I just want to make you all aware of what went into this. Okay. So we spent 4.5 hours talking this through from about 7 o'clock in the morning until right at 11. It was a lot. And me and Wes, especially, every time I would bring up an idea, he would counter it. Or one of the 4 other people, which, by the way, huge shout out to Jamie, JW. Who else was there? There was like Annie. There was like 4 or 5 other people there. All of them were bouncing back at me. I was explaining the idea. They were trying to cut it apart. We did everything we could and thought of everything we could to fix this.
Yep.
All right. So it was a very group effort involved here. Okay. But basically what it boiled down to is this. If I'm a con goer, I want to have experience from the time I walk through the door until I leave at the end of the night. Right. One of the things about our spine, by the way, that's the big hallway that you all come into every year. One of the things about our spine is we set up props. We set up things, and there's something new coming this year that we're very excited about. But I'm not going to talk about that yet. But one of the things we do is we set up picture opportunities. We set up entryways. We set up 3D pictures, things like that. Weird things set up all through the spine. It gives you all an opportunity to see these things before you have to go on the con floor. Now, that being said, we can't just have everybody stop at all these places and line up and take pictures, right? We need to keep it moving. So there will be security guards in there, keeping a limit to the number at the things.
We may not have any props at all in the spine this year. That's one of the things that we talked about with Brandy.
It'll be minimal.
They'll be minimal.
Putting those
but
on
the things that we have. The things that we have are the big picture opportunities, and that's what I was referring to.
Right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we're going to maybe second level, first level, but
they're going to be spread out.
Have very few to none in the spine. People remember last year, Silver City Mugs, that line cut the whole hallway all the way across. Very popular. The ATM, same deal. And we will be talking about the main ATMs too, because that's going to cause a little bit of traffic control. But we've already talked about that.
Yep.
Like Adam said, we had a lot of devil's advocate. It's like, well, let's do this. Well, here's all the reasons. How will this work? And you have to go in and you have to pick it apart and try to think of every bad case scenario to make sure you have a solid plan.
And that's why we had such a large group, because I wanted people to argue with me. Not that I don't like arguing with people. I do. But I wanted people to argue my ideas so that when we finally walked it, when we set it out, that it worked, that it was flawless. And I think we've achieved that. Execution, that's something completely different. But the idea is flawless. So when you walk through the con door, all right, if you're a general admission person or a weekend person, you're going to go to our general admission line. You're going to get your ticket. You're going to have a great time. When you leave that line, there's going to be a security guard standing there asking you, are you a general admission? Are you a weekend plus? Or are you a VIP? Once we get that information, we're going to direct you to one of 2 places. You're either going to go to the back hallway behind Stars Row. I'm sure everybody knows where that's at, where you will again be sorted into VIP or weekend plus. The VIPs are going to be along the wall where the doors are going onto the con floor. The weekend pluses are going to be on the far wall going down to where the glass is. Mm-hmm. And we're going to keep them separated that way. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to go in separately. The VIPs are going to go in first. We're going to send them into the floor, and then the weekend pluses are going to go in right behind them. There's going to be very little downtime. I just can't have you all go in as a group because it'll cause a cluster.
Yeah.
We're going to do this very organized.
Single file, bitches.
Single file. I'm not calling you a bitch, but neither way. If you are an ADA, all right, there's going to be 2 separate spots. The first one is going to be for our VIPs. They're going to be going along the interior wall that hugs the con floor.
Yep.
They will go in first. All right. We're going to send them through our main con doors because they're the bigger doors and it'll be easier for them to get in. The next group of ADAs will be our general admission people. They're going to go just after the ticket booth in a special little place in front of the stairs. Now, obviously, you won't be able to get to the stairs because we want everybody to be safe. but you're going to be near that area. It's a very big area. You'll be able to spread out. You won't have to worry about, if you get the kids out of the stroller, they're going to run around. You're going to have room. And we thought about that. Okay. Those two areas will be not necessarily quarantined off, but you're going to have freedom of movement in the area. Okay. Everybody's going to be able to access a bathroom no matter what floor you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Either your VIP Weekend Plus or ADA on the third floor, you're going to have a bathroom close by.
Yeah.
All right. If you're a general admission person, there are 3 bathrooms close by.
Yeah.
2 in the hallway and 1 in our main first floor area. Plenty of bathroom opportunities. Secondly, the merch booth.
Yeah.
It's going to the first floor.
Yep.
Now, here's why we did that. We moved it to the first floor because we want everybody to have an opportunity to be able to purchase merch before the con. All right. If you're a general admission person, you walk right by it. You can't miss it. All right. We're going to have big flashy lights and TVs and everything galore going. You can't miss it. All right. The second thing is our VIP and Weekend Plusers. Now, there's been some pushback on this from Brandon, I will admit. But once we talked to him about it and we explained to him our idea, he thought it was a good one. So we're going to test the waters and see what we think. Weekend Plus and VIPs are going to check in on the first floor, right beside the merch booth. They're going to have their own special booth on the first floor, so they don't have to worry about getting crossed over with general admission or getting lost in the shuffle. It's going to be your own special place for you to check in with plenty of room for you all to build your lines if you need to, and we can control it a lot better. And it'll be a lot better experience for you guys because you can check into your VIP area, get your bag and everything, and get your shirt right in one spot. Yep. All right. We think it's going to be best for everybody.
Yeah.
Now that you know where you're going, this is what you're going to do. You're going to come on the floor. You're going to get directed where to go. Once you go to that place and you get your ticket booth, you're going to be free somewhat to mingle. All right. If you go down to the first floor as a general admission person, unfortunately, you won't be able to come back up. All right. VIPs will be able to because they're going to go into their hallway. Yeah. So my suggestion to you, once you come out of the general admission line, take your time then to explore the spine. All right. Walk around, have a good time. We're not going to rush you. All right. You're going to have freedom of movement. You just won't be able to go onto the con floor or into the back hallway. You're going to be restricted to the spine. And at some point, we will clear the spine. Mm-hmm. All right. That means you will be asked to head down to the first floor and get in line. Now, if it was me and I wanted to be one of the first people on the con floor, I would get there when the doors open and get in that line. Now, where's the line? Let's talk about that. So all the way down on the first floor, as soon as you come off the escalators, there's a large black pillar. You can't miss it. All right. It is right at the end of the escalators on the left-hand side. That is where the general admission line will start. It will then continue behind the escalators and onto, and I'm not joking, guys, we measured it out, a 3 football field long hallway that is 15 feet wide. It's massive. Mm-hmm. All right. We are going to form as many lines as we need to in that hallway, single file. Now, we are going to ask you as the hallway fills up to bunch up because there's going to be a lot of general admission people. That's just how it's going to be. All right. We'll try to make you as comfortable as possible. We're not going to have people standing, elbow to elbow, moving in little stripe. We're going to make some room. Okay. But it will be general admission, weekend passes, not weekend plus, just weekend passes and day passes. All right. All of those people will be in that hallway. Once we start, we're going to move in a single file line. And we're going to move up the escalators or the stairs. It will be your choice. All right. We timed them from the end of the hallway to the very front door of our con, to the entryway. I walked at my slow little legged pace. And from the end of the hallway, the far end, to the front of our con doors, at a slow and steady pace was 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Good.
That is nothing. All right.
Okay, we're gonna take a break down. We gotta get these announcements done.
Go ahead.
I do have some questions in the chat room. What do you need, Adrian?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say, because right before we do the announcements is the biggest our audience will be tonight. So for everybody that's listening, what we're talking about tonight, if you are planning on coming to the show this year, and I know that it's late, you either need to stay after the announcements, let us get through explaining, what the layout is going to be, or you need to come back and you need to watch the video on, your time whenever you can, because we're going to be going over a lot of the fundamentals. There are some things we don't have answers for yet, but the big things, questions that you have, this is a good time to get those answered. So that's all I wanted to say.
That, and truth of the matter is, it's harder to explain than it is if you just show up and go in the building.
It is.
Yeah,
because it will make it.
We're going to have
perfect
signs.
sense.
There's going to be people. You're not going to need to know. Like, we're going to tell you where to go, because this, I feel like, as somebody who has a lot of anxiety when going into unknown, situations, this makes me feel better.
Mhm.
But, the thing to remember is, we're going to have a map posted beforehand.
For
You
sure.
just come in the door. And there's going to be people, Wes's media team, Adam's logistics team, the security team. They're going to be all up and down the hallway like air traffic controllers, waving people around. And it's a straight shot. You cannot get lost. Once you're in the building, you can't get lost, and you can't end up in the wrong line, because
Right.
your badge is going to tell us where you need to go. So you're not going to end up standing in the wrong place. Now, if you try to come into the building and get into a line before you go to the ticket booth, we might have some problems. So
That will be, you will be stopped, I guarantee you.
exactly.
Now I'm going to answer one question, then we'll go to announcements. Somebody asked, well, what if we get our lanyard ahead of time? There's a set of doors, always has been, that says
Re-entry.
re-entry. Anytime you already have your badge, just hold that off a minute. Wait till we come back. You go in those doors, there will be someone there telling you where your staging area is. Okay? Now, we're going to have a quick commercial, because I skipped the 15-minute mark because we were having so much fun. And,
Please come back. Please come back.
Then we will give you your announcements.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Roomorg Magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually, and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Roomorg, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Now I'm doing this on different software, so it's just going to put pictures up in front of our faces. Sorry for that. First up, I'm going to announce, and I hope I've already forgot how we decided his name was pronounced, David Gentoli. David Gentoli. I remember it was simpler than I tried to say it. From Grimm. I binge watched this entire series.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it starts off really good. And like most series, I'm not going to say the last season, though, felt like we got to wrap this shit up. I'll say that to his face. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying you could tell the last season, last few episodes, it was like, we got to tie some ends up. We're going home. So just saying, I'm going to put that out there. But it's a really good series. If you haven't watched it, I have no idea where it's streaming. But David Gentoli is coming. Next up, Carl Thibault. Carl Thibault. I hope I'm saying his name right. And of course, Monster Squad. More of our Monster Squad reunion. And if that wasn't enough for you, let's keep going with Monster Squad. Lisa Fuller. Lisa Fuller is coming in. Now, here's the one that Brandon's clues were about coming up now, and I understood it after it was practically explained to me. Okay, we have Mr. Don Shanks. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Of course, he played the Man in Black, however you want to say it. Don Shanks. Now, the clue he gave, it didn't take after I knew it was just about the one guy. I understood the Don part. Would you believe though? I said, "What's the duck doing on there?" I blanked on Donald Duck's name. Completely blanked on Donald Duck. So, and okay, here's the last one. Scott Innes. Is that right?
Yep, Scott Innes.
Yep. Okay, I said it right. Scott Innes, basically the voice of Scooby-Doo in Night of 1,100 Frights. Scooby-Doo, the movie, he was Scrappy. Scooby-Doo in the Cyber Chase, he was Scooby-Doo. Cyber Scooby-Doo, Shaggy. Okay, but that's he's the voice actor behind those lovely characters. And so that's our.
I know that people are going to fuss because, but there were some scary Scooby-Doo episodes. I will say that. And also, and an even better reason. So if you all see people complaining in the chat about this not being horror related, this was a Scarlett Griffith request. And there's one thing that we will not do, and we will not let the princess of Scarefest down. The Griffiths, they sacrifice a lot to do this show, and if Scarlett wants to have some voice actors there, we're going to make it happen. Plus, Scott has a super cool booth, and I know that there have got to be some fans in the chat. So,
and I'm sorry, but if you're a horror movie fan and you don't like Scooby-Doo, okay, I'm not going to say that.
I mean, I feel like a lot of us, when you're little and they're out, like they're chasing monsters and they're hunting monsters and they're doing all this, like it's like the step before you get into the gory, crazy stuff. So,
and it also still showed you the real scary part is always man.
That's exactly right.
Always, pull the mask off. And that's not wrong. That's not wrong. Okay, go ahead. I just want to go ahead and get our dates in coming up. Don't forget, speaker and media applications are available online. Go to scarefestweekend.com. Speaker and media applications. And somebody emailed me just this past week, last few days. When do media applications go live? They're live. And that makes me wonder how much of a journalist you are that you couldn't go to the website and find the link. Just saying. Scarefest Ink Tattoo applications start April 1st, and the long-awaited volunteer applications. And I'm gonna get Lori on here, and we're gonna do a show just about volunteers, I think, because we're gonna need more volunteers this year, and I need somebody to talk to about it. Okay. Hey, look what Adrian's got coming up. Rewind Time Toy and Collectible Show. This is coming up Saturday, April 12th. Unique finds, vintage toys, collectibles, Funko Pop, sports memorabilia, stamps, Pokemon.
Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe.
Oh, Masters. Well, that was specific. Okay, Star Wars, Barbie, Guy, VHS, and yes, really bad tour card reading. There's a lot of a booth there. Clarion Hotel, 1950, Newtown Pike, Lexington, Kentucky. Write that down right now, people. Look right now. Write it down.
And the most important thing that is applicable to our Scarefest fam is we will be giving away a golden VIP ticket at the Scarefest booth.
So there.
Yep.
People griping that you didn't get VIP, here's another chance. Okay. And just to throw it out there, I should mention this is the third weekend, so the Mystical Market is going on this weekend, and they have added Saturday. It's not widely dispersed on Facebook yet, but they are going to, only going to do it Sunday, but they have added tomorrow. So look them up on Facebook, Central, KY, Mystical Market, or go to the website. Go to scarefestweekend.com. There's a link for it there, but that'll give you the address and all that good stuff. Okay. Turn that off, and we're back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Look what I got.
Oh, no.
Yay.
I will be directing people in traffic with my flashy.
We got a case of them.
You know what's great is I think we got something special for you, Wes, to go right along with that.
Okay,
Really.
we didn't put a seizure
Good.
warning on here though, so turn that off.
Well, even the orange bar, I like
That
it.
shit just went off. It's a piece of shit.
Oh,
Anyway.
yes.
Timu.
I must
have
hit
to
the
find
button.
them.
Anyway. So yeah, I bought some of these. My media team will be out, so you'll be able to see the staff members because we'll have little flashy lights.
Especially because of the time we started talking about lining up.
Yeah, that's another thing, people. We're adding
We're getting there.
another thing. Yeah, we're I don't know the time's official yet. Ooh, neat.
Ooh, I like those.
You can wear these while you're directing traffic.
I would do that. I would wear those totally.
wouldn't fit
Watch
on
me
my
get
head.
arrested for having blue lights. You're not
Impersonating a police officer.
Yeah.
impersonating a police car. Anyway, okay. To explain Katie asked a good why does the media team get flashlights? Because anybody that is not involved in doing anything before the con floor opens. Now my media team gets busy when general admission starts. Up until then, it's all set up and then standing around waiting for you people to walk in. Guess what, media team? You're not off the hook this year. Anybody I can get out there, we're going to have line build. Because once we get the line flowing, everything will be fine.
Yes.
But we're going to be out on the street.
I would like to point out to everyone that's in here, you all know people that don't go to cons very much, they may not totally understand this, but one of the most important things to remember about when the doors open, it doesn't matter how quickly we're able to let people into the room. You are not filing in and sitting down in an assigned seat like you are at a concert or at the movie theater. It is a giant open space. Everyone has their priorities of what they want to do first, where they want to go. Everyone's going to try to be navigating the area. And so there's a human factor to this. We cannot open the doors and let everyone just magically be inside where they want to be. It's going to take time to get to those places. And we have been out in force. We have all already been to shows this year. We're going to keep going to shows. There's a couple of months this year that we're going to be out every weekend at events. And, I know that you guys know this, the people that watch the show, I don't know if we have any new folks watching tonight, but we really care about how this flows. We spend a lot of our time and our energy working on this, to make sure that it's a smooth experience, but you can't just magically be inside once it's 4:00. I did see someone ask about VIP and early check-in. So we are going to have box office hours prior to the con opening. We don't have those set in stone yet. We have to get those from the convention center. It is our intention to have box office hours on Wednesday this year for early check-in. I know that doesn't help folks that are out of town, but if you are in town, Wednesday, and we will absolutely have Thursday check-in. We will. We just don't know when that's going to be yet. That's going to be for anyone. I don't care if you just have a Sunday wristband and you want to show up on Thursday and pick it up, you can do that. It's not just for VIP. It's going to be for anyone. So you don't have to stand in the ticket line, and you can go into the re-entry line on the day that you're coming to the show. So don't panic. We will have those. We are going to post that closer to the show. There's a couple questions I've seen tonight that we just don't know yet. I mean, it's March. So once we get the schedule set a little bit, we'll put the information out there. And I don't mind, you asking now, but another thing that I want to point out is it has been an extraordinarily busy week. We have been at shows the last 2 weekends, and the vendor email is probably not for new vendors. The new vendors, I put on there that we would have an answer to everyone by the 15th. I am going to work on that as soon as this is over. And I will probably be working on that until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But I can almost assure you that those will not all go out tomorrow. it may be another day or two. There are a lot of applications to process. We go through them very carefully, and it's a lot of work. And they're just things that have superseded that. So we will try to get those answers out as quickly as possible and let people know. The other thing we've been waiting on that I would like to talk a little bit about tonight to everybody that is, it applies to everyone. One of the changes that we have made this year is we have taken Scarefest Inc. off of the main con floor. They're getting their own room, and not just a meeting room, they are getting an entire ballroom. So we will be adding some new tattoo artists this year. I think almost all of our artists from last year have indicated they want to come back. So if there is an artist that you absolutely love and they want to check out Scarefest Weekend, the applications will go live on the 1st, like Wes said, for tattoo artists. But because we aren't going to fill the whole ballroom up with tattoo artists, we're going to have some opportunities for vendors to be in the Scarefest Inc. room. So that's one of the things we have to decide, how many people we're going to send out invitations to be on the 3rd floor, then how many people we can send out invitations to be maybe off the main floor if they want to. You're not going to get penalized if you don't want to be off of, the 3rd floor, but it might be, the only way you get into the show this year as a vendor. But I think it's pretty exciting that we're going to have some vendors, some tattoo artists and everything down on the 1st floor where the merch booth is. And I want everybody to make sure they check that out. And Scarefest Inc. is getting an overhaul. Joel Robinson is working on a new logo for us. I am hoping we're going to have Scarefest Inc. t-shirts this year. And we're also going to be having a huge amount of tattoo categories for the tattoo competitions. And these are for pre-existing tattoos. These aren't just tattoos you get at the show. If you've got an awesome horror tattoo and you want to enter one of these categories, I will be getting all of that live very soon, probably in the beginning of April. You'll be able to go on, pick your day, pick which category you want to enter. Now, there is a small entry fee to that just to help us pay for the trophies and things like that. But if you've got some cool ink, we want to see it.
I'm going to answer a question in the chat room. How many chairs do we have rented this year? A buttload. And the reason I'm going to say that is, okay, I guess we're still going to have the little seating area with the food kiosk.
Yes.
Up on the main floor, right?
Yes.
So there's quite a few chairs there. Now, once you go on the 2nd floor, of course, we have our normal arrangement of chairs in each room. We'll have the entertainment room. We'll have the 2 seminar rooms.
And
we'll
those lovely benches along the walls.
Yes, and there are, if you don't want to go in one of the rooms, there's 2 or 3 hallways that are lined with benches. But now our plans are, if Brandon doesn't keep changing his damn mind, the main panel room, our big panel room, will be on the 1st floor in one of them ballrooms. That will be a lot of chairs. We get a lot of warm bodies in one of those rooms. So, exactly. And I think Adrian covered it pretty well. But if you picked up your lanyard, you won't be in the long lines. You'll be able to come up to the door, go straight to a staging area, unless we fill the building up, which we don't have that many people check in early. But now Saturday, we do have a lot of people show up Friday. We'll come back Saturday. So I'm not saying there won't be any line outside, but we're going to keep it as small as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Minimal.
Mm-hmm. Minimal.
Absolutely.
And Mike Smith, I want to let you know in the chat room, you just ask about, repeat the announcements. I'll do it at the end of the show, but this is the internet. Guess what? This will all be available. You can literally, after the show's over, go back and watch and go to the 30-minute mark. You only have to watch the whole episode, 30-minute mark, any episode. That's when we announce.
Watch the episode because it's got good information in it, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, Brandon texted both of us after I didn't respond. He says he is jumping on his connecting flight. He cannot post the announcements until after 10:30. I say we can wait. Or I could be nice and I can go post.
That means you all got the scoop. You all got the scoop by watching Scarefest TV. See how valuable we are. I need to go. I need to do our movie review. We haven't done that
Yes.
yet. So we'll be right back, everybody. We're gonna see what was the name of that thing? The Substance.
Hey, Scarefest, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. I know I don't have a black shirt on. I apologize. And this week, we're reviewing a movie that's come out in the last decade. That's right. It's an Oscar-nominated film that didn't win as many Oscars as people thought it would. We're going to talk about The Substance. It's directed by a French lady, and her movie's Revenge that she broke out with in 2018 is on Shudder, and I'm going to watch it. As this aging person who was, I don't know, she's some sort of fitness guru or what have you, but she's starting to just age, and and she's getting older and things are happening, and her name's Elizabeth Sparkle, and she finds out the network's going to replace her. She does this fitness show, and she basically gets told about this thing where she can take this liquid and kind of become someone else, but not really, because the other one can't remember. It's hard to explain. It's really my best friend, James and Chad, but Chad watched it and loved it. And I'm still trying to figure out whether I liked it, which is actually a compliment because I've still thought about the movie. The themes of aging, specifically aging for women and how they are objectified by men, are very heavy in this movie. All correct, but at the same time, you're beaten over the head with them. So some of you, it's going to drive you crazy, and some of you are going like, yeah. I was somewhere in between of, I get the point. It's kind of like it's a movie where Stanley Kubrick and early Cronenberg met and they decided to have this baby, with the end being something out of Sam Raimi or Peter Jackson, like Evil Dead, Dead Alive. Is it a horror film? Yes, it's a body horror film, but is it scary? Not in any kind of jump scare, it's a very thought-provoking movie. It's 2.5 hours long. If you go on Mubi, which is a new app, you can actually do a 7-day trial and watch it for free if you cancel it. Yeah, it's worth your time. It's just an interesting movie, and I'm curious to find out, because I'm getting older, but women my age, once they watch it, what do you think of it? What do you think it says about women and aging and how society treats you all differently? Because as she, kind of lives in this other creature, and both characters they're played by Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley, and both are fantastic. But she lives through Margaret Qualley, who's the younger lady. She doesn't really remember things. They're both one, but they don't remember each other. And of course, what happens is that they want to fight for who gets more time. It is disgusting, funny, long, brilliantly acted. Demi Moore plays the actress, or the Sparkle lady who's getting older, very well, because it would have been so easy to play her as like, I'm a bitch, but it's not it. Doesn't play her that way. She plays her as a nice human who just, it changes. Time changes. Like I thought about it. So one of these days, one of my favorite things to do is to get on stage for you all, because I like making you happy. And I'm about to do Lexington Comic Con this weekend, and it's exciting, and it's one of the highlights of my life. But I know one of these days I'll be a little too gray, and people want somebody younger, and it happens to us all. And how do you deal with that? How do you react? How do you handle it? How do you just adapt to aging? A lot of these questions are in this. I highly recommend the movie. I can't tell you that I'll watch it again. Maybe I will, but it did make me think, and it's really hard to give a better compliment to a movie than, well, it's been 24 hours and I'm still thinking about it. So check out The Substance. Did I like it? I don't know. Did it make me think a lot? Yes. So that's a really big compliment. Check out The Substance. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly.
And we're back. And now I'm depressed because now he's got me thinking about my longevity in the organization, being the oldest staff member.
You're not.
You're not.
Who's older?
I'm not calling people out, but you're not the oldest.
Okay. Who's older that is such an integral part of the success of the organization?
Well, I could just as easily say that, but say, well, who's prettier?
Me.
Well, sure you could.
But you're not as important as I am, Adam. That's what I'm saying. I'm more important and I'm prettier than you.
If you look over his shoulder there, what does that say?
executive.
Mm-hmm.
How come I'm not the executive media director? How did he get executive?
Because Adam has a very fragile ego, and you don't. Wes, everybody knows you're in charge.
Okay, here I'm going to rephrase it. Are there any male staff members older than me? Are there?
I don't think men live as long as women, though. So that's
well.
Okay. Well,
that's on purpose.
Thank you very much for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
But I mean, it is something, one of these days although I'm the last one to go to Scooter. Just gonna.
That's true.
I am the last.
I have not been in one. So it's down between me and you, Wes. We're the only ones left.
I'm probably gonna be in one this year.
I don't blame you.
Yep.
And if I tell you the truth, if my back hurts like it did what little bit I had to stand at Comic-Con.
My pinky toenail fell off because I walked so much. So, guys, we suffer for this show.
My leg still hasn't healed.
But outside, okay. Since I got Adam on here, and he actually was the star of the show, even though we talked over him the entire episode.
Yeah.
Adam, as logistics director, what, other than that little outside line building thing that
the little thing we just did, yeah,
that we've gotten ahead of, what is the next biggest logistical challenge to putting on the Scarefest?
Wow. Setting up the show. Okay, so here's the thing. As a logistics person, and it's not my day job. It used to be for a long time, almost 26 years in logistics. My biggest goal with Scarefest is the little things. Now, you all would be surprised at how much the little things stack up, but they do. And it's my job and my team's job to get those set up. Now, obviously, we also do big things. We set up the entryway. We've set it up every single year we've had it. We set up all of the props that you see, all the little stand-ups, the Demigorgon, the Chucky box, the Reapers on the seminar stage, all of the set pieces that you all have that you take pictures on, the Stranger Things set. All of that is my team. We set all that up. Under my banner is also security. So I'm always keeping an eye on that, making sure that's moving and, functioning. I'm also over transportation, which is a juggernaut in and of itself. Moving these stars back and forth, and Brandon keeps adding them every year. They grow, and that's fine. We can handle it. But that's another juggernaut in itself. Between Adrian, McKenzie, and me, we do Adrian books the planes. Me and McKenzie pick them up. And McKenzie has a team that works under her, made of a mountain of other teams. And we all just kind of go together, and they all just kind of look at me and go, where does this go? And I try to figure out where it goes. A lot of my job is fire put out. I try to get a very solid game plan as to where everything is set up, what floor it's on, what space it's occupying, things like that before the con. And then I sit down and outline it. And then when it comes time to bring everything in, that's when my job really starts. I always tell people that I'm in charge of everything that moves on the floor. And Adrian's in charge of making sure that if it moves, it works.
I'm in charge of Adam, basically.
I think that's Jamie more than you, but yes.
Yeah, that does that.
Jamie's my assistant. And between her and me and the rest of my team, we pretty much make sure that Scarefest moves. That's our job.
Or stand still when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Not too great at
Okay, going up is a certain thing that I'm not good at. I have some girth about me that I thought I could do that, and I almost broke my leg last year trying to jump on a 3-foot wall. Anyways.
Okay, to answer some stuff in the chat room, the reason I did not cosplay at Lexington Comic Con was that basically I listened to Brandon tell me that I needed to be there at 7 o'clock every goddamn day while he slept until noon.
Thank you. Brandon hounded us to be there early. Hounded us.
Yep.
And we didn't even need to be.
Nope.
That's okay.
And that's another thing. We went, everybody now, in full disclosure, and I don't think it's any great secret, we went to Comic-Con not only to have a booth, but part of the reason we were there was to watch their line building. We learned almost nothing because their line building does not operate. Their con entrance does not operate the same as ours because they don't have that 1 hour early entry.
Yeah.
They don't have separate people.
Yep.
You show up, you get people were not in line. We showed up there at 7:30, and we're like, why is the parking lot empty? It freaked us out. But but when the time came to open the doors, there's the line. I mean, they did show up, but these people,
and they all went through one door.
Their clientele has learned they don't need to be in a rush. But yeah, that's why I did. But Katie, you looked absolutely fantastic in your cosplay, and I will stand here. And I promise I will not leave you hanging like that again. At least not every day. He's
not wearing those shorts around me.
No, I'm retiring that until I lose 25 pounds. I got my doctor's report.
No,
I've got to lose some weight. If I could get back the body I had when I had the flu in November.
Oh, okay. You want the flu? Go lick some doorknobs.
I might just do it. I had abs for about a week.
You always have abs. They're just protected under some other stuff.
They were
Mine's very protected. Mine's very protected.
Adam's got a keg.
You got to cut deep.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We got thick skin around here.
That's right.
All right. I just got I'm hitting post on the last guest announcement because Brandon is a slacker. And, looks like we're a little bit over our time. But for those of you who are still watching, if you are pretty much anywhere from central to eastern United States and you don't know, please be weather aware tonight. It has been crazy. I recommend Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube. He is great. I will be watching him tonight. If you have anything outside that needs to be secured, do that. Please don't drive if you don't have to. Just be weather aware if you're in one of the areas that is going to be getting significantly impacted tonight.
Kentucky boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Missouri, I think Missouri, Kansas, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, everywhere. Texas was having an insane dust storm today. I don't know if you all saw that. It looked like a hurricane, and then some of the places were getting snow after their thunderstorms. It's someone needs to go get with Mother Nature and calm her down because the girl's been moody.
Yep.
We were talking tonight. I'm up here. We didn't turn on the air conditioning in the little office studio I have here, and we should have. A week ago.
You got a little glisten.
You did.
You got a little
shine.
Mm-hmm. Little shine.
That's because I get my hair cut and I can see my forehead again. Here, there's the shiny part.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
You need to get that spray on stuff that they use.
If I knew where to buy that, I would probably get some. Does
God.
It come in salt and pepper, though?
Well, we were talking about that when I got on here. It's like I got this one gray streak right here, and the rest of it, I don't know.
When I've been getting my hair braided, I have like one little patch right here that's like almost completely gray. So when she twisted the first braid, one whole side of the braid was gray, and I was like, "Girl, can we mix that up a little bit?"
Own it.
So
I love it.
You should put a little piece of tinsel put in it.
I told her what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some because I can't dye it again because I'm gonna donate it, but I'm gonna get some of that fake hair that's like neon colors. Ooh. And I'm gonna have her like put the braids in, and then you can take like a knitting needle and go in and like basically knit that in too. And
Becky with the good hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So
for the ladies in the chat room, I've asked this before. what is your opinion of Just for Men? I am
Because me and Wes are seriously considering.
Yeah, because I got the beard and the hair. See, I got my haircut today. I told Adam before the show, I got my haircut today. And on camera, I don't think I look all that gray on my head. Beard, yes. Head, no. But when they cut your hair and you see that shit laying in your lap,
Yeah.
that was white.
Yeah. I was telling you.
It was salt. It wasn't salt and pepper. It was salt.
I shaved my head in my sink and I looked down and I was like, where's all the hair? And I realized it was actually blending in with the sink. It was terrifying.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah.
See, someone, Bernetta says
I'm 24, guys.
Well,
like, this is what Scarefest does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bernetta in chat room says Just for Men looks fake, but I'm kind of fake. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop me.
Imagine a cotton ball with a permanent marker on it Just for Men. Kelly, no. I've never used it on my hair. I have dyed my beard from time to time. Matter of fact, in the old days, before Just for Men caught on, I used women's hair dye.
Oh.
So the 60s? Like, what do we... Sorry, Wes.
It was the 80s. Thank you, Adam.
Welcome.
It was the 80s when all the good music came out.
Fair.
No, I disagree, but okay, sure.
Sorry,
No, really,
now I have to make the Instagram post.
I want that on my epitaph. Anyway, everybody, I guess we're done for tonight, but I wanted to get deeper into logistics. I'll have Adam back on so we can talk about other little things that go on in the con, things that as we're building the con this year, we're going to put more effort. I think I'm going to phrase it this way. We're going to put more effort into getting these planning sessions in front of you all so that when you show up at the con and something doesn't go right, you can say, well, you should have watched the show.
And if you have any questions, tag this video or post in this video. We'll go through them later on and pull out, the questions related to what we can talk about. And when I come back, we'll just talk about them.
Yeah.
So everybody, this has been Scarefest TV. Next week, I got Chad Shepard coming on from Bet City Con. So we got that going.